Hi everybody! Welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka Stampin' Blondie, and I'm so excited to have you join me today as I walk through step by step on how to create 2 projects. Now I hope you guys all had an amazing weekend. It was nice to relax and spend some time with my husband and run some errands around town. And I actually didn't have any classes or class prep scheduled for this weekend, so it was really great to be able to just go with the flow and have no plans. All right, let me make sure that I'm live here on Facebook. If you're following along, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know that you're joining me here. Looks like I just need to move my camera. Let's see how that goes. Let's see here. There, let's see if that works a little bit better. There's a little bit of a delay here, so let's see if it helps my camera if I move it. Nope, I need to move it this way. There we go. That should be a little bit better. All right, looks like I'm live here on Facebook, so let me know if you're watching. Comment, say hi. Hello, Linda. Hi, Joyce. Thanks for watching. If you're joining me here via my YouTube page, I'm live on YouTube right now as well. Make sure to comment from YouTube and let me say hi and say hi to me. It's crazy. It's Monday. All right. I hope you guys all had an amazing weekend. Today, I'm going to bring you 2 projects featuring the Abigail Rose suite. Now, this is an entire collection of products from one suite in our catalog. It features the Cottage Rose stamp set and die bundle, the Abigail Rose designer series paper, and a really beautiful ribbon. So, oh, Veronica's in California today. Hi, Veronica. I hope you're enjoying California. Hello, Andrea. Thank you all for watching here today. All right, let's go ahead and jump in to some quick, just final announcements that I've got before our projects here today. Very light on that today. So let's go ahead and swap the camera. All right, so our first announcement here is the buy one, get one kit sale ends on June 30th. So Thursday is the last day for our buy one, get one kits. 50% off the second kit. Now, a couple weeks ago, if you go back through my Facebook posts, I've done a couple of Facebook Lives featuring our kits collection and how they differ from our paper pumpkin kits. Now, I wanted to show you, I have 2 of our newest kits. Now, I'm not going to work on them here today, but I just wanted to show you what our kits collection have, just a quick peek into those. So our first kit that we have, this is our latest kit that just debuted here in June. Now, if you are a big memory keeper, this is called the Love This Memory, oh, let me get that in frame. Love This Memory Notebook Kit. So it has a notebook in here that you can do. It's a couple years ago, the big term was called smash kits or smash books, where you can take pictures, and it has all these fun die cut pieces. It comes with a Stampin' Block, some fun holographic washi tape, and then we've got tear and tape. It also comes with a Parakeet Party Stampin' Spot and a full stamp set. So this is our newest kits collection kit. It's called the Love This Memory Notebook Kit. So if you like to do scrapbooking or any kind of memory keeping, this is fun to do if you've been taking a summer vacation. You can do this little kit here. And then that's our newest kit that was released on June 1st. And then our kit from May, this is the Robot Buddies kit. If you love to scrapbook with maybe your grandchildren or your kids, the Robots Buddy kit is perfect for that. Again, it includes a stamp set. All of the stamping kits come with a block, embellishments. They have these fun little googly eyes here, and all the parts and pieces that you need to create this kit. Now, this kit comes with 2 ink pads. We have Pumpkin Pie and Bermuda Bay, and then again, a full stamp set. So all of our kits collection items are buy one, get the second one 50% off. This runs until June 30th, and then all the kit collection items can be found. I'll post a link in the description of this video once I'm done here tonight, and then you can browse all the kit collections. Now, if you're not a stamper and if you're more of a beginning crafter, they have craft kits that involve no stamping at all. So perfect, again, for kids or getting together with your friends and you want a quick and easy project. All of our kids collection items come with everything you need to craft. So they're perfect for on the go. I take them to a monthly scrapbook crop that I go to. So that's the kit collection. All right, next up, I have copies of the July through December mini catalog and celebration brochure. If you are not currently working with a demonstrator and you've not placed an order with me in the past 6 months and you would love a copy of the catalog, there will be a link in the description of this video once I'm done, and you can request your free copy. So if you've placed an order with me, attended a class, come to my club, Craft and Create, or anything else I've held in the last 6 months, you are already on my list. You do not need to request a catalog, but if you are not working with a current demonstrator and you would love a copy of the catalog, then there will be a link and you can request your copy of the catalog. Are the ink spots the foam squares or are they the felt? Sarah asked about that for the kids. The foam or the ink spots are our old felt pads, so they're not as squishy as our current foam pads. They are a little more dense. They are felt pads, but they are perfect for stamping on the go. I like to use them with my Stamparatus, and so they are great to be able to take on the go, and it's teeny tiny, like that big for the ink spots. All right, mini catalogs will be shipping out this week. I will include in there my upcoming class schedule through, I think I usually do it through November or December. So that will be included in my class kit here for my mini catalogs. Also, Celebration starts July 1st, which is this Friday. This catalog starts Friday as well. I cannot believe it is Friday already, is July 1st. But if you are not too familiar with what Celebration is, it's Stampin' Up's biggest promotion that they host 2 times a year. So it's from July and August. And for every $50 you spend, you get to choose an item out of this catalog for free. Now there's also some $100 mark items as well, but there's everything from stamp sets, dies, designer series paper that are all exclusive to this promotion. So I can't show you what's in the inside of these catalogs just yet. I have to wait for July 1st, but there are some great upcoming products for classes that I will be hosting this fall, and all of my classes are virtual and in person, so no matter where you live, you can craft along right with me. I'm excited for our upcoming holiday classes as well. Okay, our 2 projects today, like I mentioned, feature the Abigail Rose Suite. So I had my catalog. I don't have my catalog in here with me. Oops. Okay, well, it's in the annual catalog. And this is a whole entire 2-page spread of products, and I'll show you them. So the first up is the Cottage Rose stamp set. Now this stamp set, again, if you followed me for a while, you'll know that I love stamp sets that include both images and sentiments together. It's kind of an all-in-one stamp set. You don't need to have multiple sets to be able to work on projects. And this is great because it has big, wide spaces for you to be able to color and bring these images to life. So the Cottage Rose stamp set is our cling mount stamp set, traditional red rubber, clings right to your clear blocks, just like our photopolymer stamp sets. And this can be purchased as an individual stamp set or as a bundle with the Cottage Flowers dies. So some of these images do cut out our flowers here. And then there's this big die here that cuts out a separate floral image as well. So this is the Cottage Rose bundle. Now also in the suite is the Abigail Rose 12 by 12 designer series paper. Now I will admit today's projects are not my stamping style. I normally do not create vintage floral projects, but sometimes it's fun to be able to work outside your comfort zone and try something new. So while I was creating these projects, I saw this paper and it definitely gives off a vintagey feel to it. So the Abigail Rose 12 by 12 Designer Series paper features basic black, crumb cake, early espresso, petal pink, smoky slate, and very vanilla. And Andrea, you're right, this paper is gorgeous. Now my favorite piece is this piece right here. It looks like those old library cards that we would get in checking out library books. You know, I'm really dating myself here, but way back in the day when we had to write our name on the library card to check out a book, this is definitely what I thought of when I saw this paper. Now, again, with the petal pink and the browns, you can really create some masculine projects from this paper as well. And so one of my projects here today is going to be more of a masculine themed project. So even though there's floral and some vintage, you can easily create masculine projects with this whole suite. Now, to round out, let me grab it here. To round out the suite is this natural finish ribbon. Now this is 7/8 of an inch. So it is a wider ribbon, as you can see. It is more, I wouldn't say it's burlap because it's not as, I think when I think of burlap, I think of like scratchy but it has that kind of color finish to it. Very pliable ribbon, and the best part about this is that you can stamp right on it. So if you use any of our blacks like Tuxedo Black Memento ink, you can stamp right on this ribbon to give it a different look as well on your projects. So this is the entire Abigail Rose suite. There is a 1 item number in our catalog where you can add that to your order and you get all 4 items, or they can be purchased individually as well. So lots of neutral colors, like Tammy said. Very, very fun with these projects that I created, and I was really, like I said, stepping out of my comfort zone when I was working with these. Okay, so let me show you the 2 projects. So here's that first one that I had mentioned. That is more of like a masculine kind of project. Even though it has a ribbon and flowers, this I still would think could be masculine. But you could also gift it to somebody as a feminine project as well. So it's kind of an in-between. This features the brushed metallic cardstock. Now it says it's cardstock, but I am going to call it more of a, I'd say it's a specialty paper. So it has 3 different colors. So you have a like brushed brass color. We've got more of like a deeper copper, and then I've got one more if I can find it here. Let's see, I used a bunch of this, so I've got like little pieces here and there left. So another kind of like a brushed brass kind of color, more of like, the third one's more of like a champagne kind of color. But this is found in our annual catalog. It comes with all 3 colors. The back side is white. So we are going to be doing some die cutting into this paper today, and I can show you how easy it is to die cut into it as well. All right, so that's our first project we're gonna work on. Our second one, this one I'm really, really proud of, so I hope you guys like it. This one is really fun. We're gonna be doing a fun splatter technique with this project. We're gonna do some paper curling, and see, I added that ribbon in the back there. So that's going to be our second project here today. Now, as always on my website, I feature my free project PDF tutorial. This has all of the details on how you can cut your paper and follow along with me. It has the item names, item numbers, the prices, and at the bottom, the dimensions for the 2 projects that we're going to create here today. Now, this is posted every Monday when I have Makers Monday, 6 a.m. Central Time. And it's free on my website, stampinblondie.com. So you can print this off, pair it with this video, and you can work along with Makers Monday with me. All right, next up, before we jump into our cards, is each week I do something called Prize Patrol. So all you have to do is share my video and comment that you shared to be entered into my Prize Patrol. It's that easy. Now you'll want to make sure that you comment share, because sometimes your Facebook security settings don't always let me know if you have shared or not. So last week I worked on some projects, fancy fold projects for Technique Tuesday. I have to say you guys loved that video. That is actually my #1 video that has ever been viewed by you guys. I had 1,800 views so far on that one, so it has been quite a ride for you guys to love that and love those projects. So last week we did fancy fold projects, if you missed that, and our prize patrol was a package of iridescent basic pearl jewels. These are 2 sizes. They have a really fun iridescent shine to them. And our winner last week was Karen Sylvester. So congratulations, Karen. I don't have your address, so make sure to message me your address and I will pop these in the mail for you. Now this week, our prize patrol is the Quatrefoil, now try saying that fast 3 times, Quatrefoil Tile Embossing Folder. Now I'm gonna bring it up really quick high so you guys can see the design on that. This is a fun new embossing folder from our annual catalog, and so you guys can see the fun design on there. So this is our prize patrol for this week, and all you have to do is share this video and be entered to win. Now, unfortunately, this is only available to United States, but I hope you still share the video with your friends if you are outside of the US. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, our first project here, we're gonna work on this one with that metallic paper. So I am using a piece of crumb cake cardstock. This is cut to 4 1/4 by 11. Remember, all those dimensions are found on my website, so you can grab that PDF. And what we're gonna do, it's scored at 5 1/2, so we're gonna fold that right in half, and we're going to use our bone folder to crisp up our line. Look guys, I have a personalized bone folder now. I got that at an event that I attended. Now nobody can steal my bone folder when I go to events. I love it. I've never had a personalized bone folder before, so I feel very special. Okay, our designer series paper. This is the one that I've chosen. It has a very fun floral image on the back, but I really like this darker toned here, and we're gonna use multi-purpose liquid glue on this. Now I chose to use multi-purpose liquid glue because the front of our brushed metallic paper, it's slick, but that's good because with the liquid glue, if you don't get it exactly how you want it right away, you have a few seconds to be able to move your paper around. So I'm just making sure that that designer series paper is sticking to that metallic paper, and you're just gonna push it down really hard to make sure it's all on here. And then we're gonna flip that over, and again, multi-purpose liquid glue. Now the back of this is not as slick as the front, so you could use your stamp and seal, but I just have my one thing of glue out here today. So you could use stamp and seal tape burner adhesive, but I've just got my liquid glue here. Okay, we are gonna do some die cutting. Now, the best part about this die set right here, Cottage Flowers, is that it fits in our mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. So if you have the mini size, this fits perfect. And we are gonna use 3 different dies. So we have one piece that is a single flower, the other piece is 2 flowers, and then down here is the single leaf. And we're gonna die cut them all at the same time through our mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so I have my plates here. And what we're gonna do, I just have a scrap piece of this brushed metallic paper, and I'm just gonna lay my die pieces right onto this. Now you don't need to use any kind of washi tape to hold these down because they are just gonna die cut, and we're not die cutting any stamped images here. We're just gonna run this through our mini cut and emboss machine. Now if you hear crunching and cracking noises, that's okay. Now I found with the brush metallic paper, because it is a little thicker than our cardstock or designer series paper, I want to run it through twice. So once one way and then the second going the opposite direction. And then we've got our pieces. Now you could use your the brush end from your take your pick tool, but I found that these poke out quite easy, and you just have to be very careful. They're kind of delicate flowers and you don't want to rip them as you're pulling them out here. But I didn't even have to use any wax paper. Normally with some of our intricate dies you want to use wax paper because it'll stick, but with this brushed metallic I found it doesn't stick very good into our dies, so you don't even need to use any kind of wax paper for this. All right, we're just gonna take your pick tool and kind of poke out all of these little leaf parts, and you just kind of want to be careful that you don't rip your paper. Poke that out. Now this brush metallic paper was actually in our holiday catalog last year. It was featured on the page that had all of our like fall items, and I fell in love with it. I love the darker tone of the metallic paper. It's not bright. I know normally I love the bright paper, but this is definitely, I think it's because it's shiny. I like the shine, but I like how dark it is with that shine. It's not overpowering, and it's some gold paper that we have is kind of like really, really bright and shiny. This is more because it's brush metallic, it's more of a darker metallic. All right, poking out all these little pieces here. If we can get that last one out there. And then our leaf right here. And make sure we don't rip any of our paper. And there we go. There we go. Okay, so, all right, we're gonna clean that up and move our dies over so we don't accidentally throw those away. So we've got, oh, welcome. Is it Zoe or Zoe? I want to make sure I'm saying it right, but welcome. She is new to Arizona, and happy to have a local demonstrator. So welcome. Thank you for joining me live. I hope you enjoy the video here today. Okay, so we've got our pieces here, and we're gonna use Goldie, my trusted tape dispenser, and we're gonna attach those on the back with Scotch tape. But first, we wanna stamp our sentiment. So our sentiment that I'm choosing here today is "You are positively the greatest," and I'm using soft suede ink. Now with the card, I could have used crumb cake ink, but I wanted to use a darker toned ink just to make it stand out even more from against that background. So I used my stitched stylist stitched shaped dies, and I cut a square with very vanilla cardstock and stamped it crooked, but that's okay. I'm just going to still use it because even though it's crooked, it's still gonna be great. And then we're gonna take our back of our die cut pieces, and that's where we're gonna come in with our Scotch tape. So Scotch tape is perfect because you don't have any wait time with drying. With these being so thin, you could use your fine tip glue pen, but it's very, very thin and you're gonna get glue everywhere. Just ask me how I know. So we're just gonna tape our die cut pieces to the back there, and then our last little leaf is gonna go down here in the corner. Nobody sees the back, so you can use Scotch tape. It's perfect to have in your craft stash. And then with this, we're gonna use Stampin' Dimensionals. So on here, I'm just gonna put one in each corner and then one in the middle. Normally, I don't use this many dimensionals. I don't put one in the middle, but because I have those little floral images on here, I want it really to just pop up in the middle and stick to our card base. And that's just gonna go right there. Now, as the final touch, I'm going to be using, this is from our annual catalog as well. This is the 1/4 inch faux suede ribbon. Now, I used this previously on some projects for Father's Day. And so these are perfect. This is a perfect, I would say, masculine kind of ribbon. It is suede. It's really fun texture. And we're just gonna tie that into a bow. I cut about 8 inches for this. And we've got it tied here. And I'm gonna trim the edges at an angle, and we're gonna attach this with glue dots. Now, I'm using glue dots compared to my liquid glue because with glue dots, I don't have any wait time for it to dry. And with the suede, it could kind of ooze out a little bit. So just 1 glue dot, and there is our first project featuring the Abigail Rose Suite and the Cottage Rose stamp set and Cottage Flowers dies. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. I really like this project. It's subtle with the shimmer. It's not overpowering. And then, like I said, this could be a masculine or a feminine project. Whoever you want to gift it to, it is perfect for all. So I really like that one. I don't tend to work with dark browns and you know, early espresso too often. So like I said, this whole Maker's Monday is about getting out of my comfort zone and trying something different. So I see lots of hearts, so I'm glad that you guys love this project. And yes, Marcia, this is great because the layout is perfect for a variety of different occasions. You could swap this out for the bright, the bold colors, and you could still do the same project with this layout. So a perfect use of this layout too. Okay, next we're gonna get into this really fun vintage card. So I love this one. Like I said, something new and different for me, but it's always fun to try something different and work with that. So let me grab my basket here of stuff. So I swap that out. Oh, Lisa, your daughter's name is Anastasia too. I mean, it's a great name. I love it. The only thing that I'm not a fan of is, you know, when you grow up and you get all those pencils and keychains and cups. I never had one with my name on it, but I have a bone folder with my name on it. And so that is perfect for me. Barb says she's new here too, and she didn't know I'm in Arizona. I'm in Tucson. But if you are not in Tucson, all of my classes are virtual and in person. So you can always come to a class that I host. Okay, our last project here, we are gonna do with Very Vanilla. Again, a color I really don't work with very often. I tend to gravitate towards basic white just because it's crisp and it goes with everything. But this designer series paper is all about Very Vanilla. So it's fun to be able to create with this. Okay, the first thing we want to do is I'm just going to grab my scrap paper here because we're going to be doing some stamping. And for this card, we're going to be using soft succulent ink and soft suede as well. So 2 of our 3 soft inks that we have. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our stem, and we are going to stamp very lightly. You probably didn't even notice it. Down here in the corner and up here in the corner, we're gonna do just a tiny little bit of our leaves. So just a little peek there, and that's it for our soft succulent ink. So we'll move that off to the side. All right, next up, we have a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. Now this cardstock is cut to 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our bone folder and we're just going to kind of curl the edges of the paper a little bit. And just like curling ribbon when you're doing Christmas bows, you're just gonna curl your paper with your bone folder. So And you can always kind of spritz your paper to make it a little more pliable, but I found that just using your bone folder here will get those edges curled. Now we're gonna take our Take Your Pick tool. Now our cardstock is made of 2 separate layers. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take your, kind of do it up high here. You're gonna take your Pick tool and you're just going to poke it in there and kind of pull, oops, I dropped it, kind of pull that so you have your cardstock more of like a ripped effect to it. So there you can see, I'm just taking my Take Your Pick tool, and where those 2 pieces of paper kind of merge, you're just poking it in there, and then you're gonna pull just a little bit to get that curl. And if you need to take your bone folder and kind of re-curl it up there, you can as well. But we want to separate our cardstock there. So that is the little distressing that we're gonna do on that piece of paper. And we're gonna set that off to the side. I have that piece of that designer series paper, like I mentioned earlier. This is my favorite piece because it looks like an old library check-in, check-out card. So here is what that side is, and then this side you can actually color. So I created this project for a tutorial the other day that I used that same designer series paper and I colored that in. So that was a fun card to make. But we're going to take, before we adhere all of this down, that natural finish ribbon, and we're going to adhere it to the back of our card. So I'm just going to take a piece about, so this is 5.5. I'm going to take it about 5 inches long, and we're going to take our scissors and cut that at an angle, and that is going to adhere right to the middle of our card. Now for this, I am going to use Stampin' Seal. I don't want to use multi-purpose liquid glue because it will ooze through our ribbon. So I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal and one little layer. You can't see it, but I promise it's on there. And that's going to go right in the middle of our card base. And if the ends of your card fray, of the ribbon, sorry, ends of the ribbon fray, even better, because it's gonna give it that like vintagey look more to the end. From there, now we're gonna add our piece of Calypso Coral cardstock, and this I am gonna use liquid glue. Because we're gonna tilt this at an angle, I just wanna make sure that I have it exactly tilted how I want. And with Stampin' Seal, it is a tight adhesive, so you don't have a few seconds to kind of wiggle your paper all over. Our piece of cardstock is gonna, or sorry, designer series paper is gonna go the opposite direction. Then we just laid our piece here, and I wanna make sure this is straight, and I'm doing this the right way. And that's just gonna go right in there. So this is our base. Okay, we are gonna do a fun technique here with Stampin' Blends. Now, if you've never worked with Stampin' Blends before, these are alcohol-based ink markers. They have a thin side and a thick side, a pen tip and a brush tip. Now, this technique I would not advise doing all the time with your Stampin' Blends. This is kind of a 1 time, maybe 2 times with your Stampin' Blends. You don't want to be too harsh on them. And this technique can be harsh depending on how hard you are on your Stampin' Blends. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cover my workspace, and I'm going to take the brush end of my Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to kind of flick it against the inside cap of my marker, the marker cap. Now, once you do this, you want to be very, very gentle with it. Too hard and you can mess up the tip of your Stampin' Blend. So I am barely flicking my marker onto the inside of my cap, and it gives this really fun splatter look. And the best part with Stampin' Blends markers is that they dry instantly. It's alcohol based, so you don't even have to wait for anything to dry. But there's that fun splatter technique, and you can do this with any Stampin' Blends markers you have. I just chose to do the crumb cake to kind of give that splatter effect in the background. So a very easy, fun technique to do. Just be very, very gentle when you do them. And make sure you cover your workspace, because these are alcohol-based markers. You don't want that ink on your workspace. So that is the fun splatter technique. A little Technique Tuesday rolled in our Makers Monday today. Okay, stamping. We've got a spare piece of very vanilla cardstock, and I'm going to move my card base off to the side. We will still need that piece of grid paper, so I'm just going to put that off to the side as well. We are going to stamp this really beautiful big floral image. Now this is also going to be colored in Stampin' Blends markers. Now when you stamp and color with Stampin' Blends, you want to make sure you use Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I have mentioned this before. There's a technique that I remember to use which black with which stays on ink or our Tuxedo Black. Our alcohol-based markers are what I call stinky, and our Memento ink has no scent to it. So stinky markers, no scent. If you're using watercolor pencils, they have no scent to them. Our Stays On ink has a very distinctive scent to it. So that's how I remember which ink to use with what color medium. And just as a disclaimer, this is not an ad for you to huff your craft supplies, but that's how I remember what to use with what coloring medium. It just helps me remember a little bit. When you use Stampin' Blends, you always want to cover your workspace. Now with this, I am using Calypso Coral, which was the color of our cardstock, and then also Soft Succulent Blends, which is the color of our leaves. And you can see here, I didn't color the entire flower. I just did quick highlights to give it the illusion of being colored with saving yourself some time. Now we're going to only use the light colors of each, so light soft succulent and light Calypso Coral. They come in a combo pack with the dark markers, but we don't need those today, so we're just going to put them off to the side. I'm going to start with my light soft succulent, and I'm just following the lines on the stamp. That's it. You don't have to be an expert in coloring when using Stampin' Blends. I'm just quickly following the lines on the leaves. And then for our flower, again, just following the leaves, or sorry, the lines on the stamp, and that's it. Nothing too complicated here. And then this just gives it the illusion of being a Calypso Coral flower. Now, if you're really ambitious, you could color the whole thing, use your Stampin' Blends to blend the dark and light colors together, but this is a quick and easy way to give it that look of being colored and save yourself some time. So we're just quickly coloring in here. There we go. All right. Barb, it looks like you said you were in Tucson too, so you should come to a class. We have a great time during class. Okay, next we're gonna die cut. So I've got my Cottage Floral dies. We have this die here. Now, when you're die cutting this one, you definitely want to use the washi tape. The last one I mentioned, you don't have to have washi tape because you're just cutting the outline out. But because we are cutting a stamped image, you want to use pieces of washi tape to hold your die in place when you run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. That'll make sure that everything is right in the position that you need it, and there won't be any movement as you die cut because you just spent all that time coloring, so you don't want to waste your time with that. Now the crunching and cracking, that's normal. It's cutting into the paper. And we've got our die piece here. When you peel off the washi tape, you just want to be very, very careful, because even though it is paper tape, it can still rip your paper. So you just want to be careful peeling that off nice and slow, and it won't rip your paper. So there's our die cut flower. Here we've got our piece of crumb cake cardstock. The dimensions of that are on that free PDF tutorial on my website. And we're going to use the soft suede ink and the sentiment that says Friends Forever. And we're just going to stamp that right in the middle and take our scissors and cut that at an angle. Now you could only cut one side, because we're going to kind of tuck the one side under the flower, but you can still see right here on the end where a little bit of that angle cut peeks out. On the back of this, we are going to use our dimensionals, which they're right here. And it's going to go right on the lower kind of left side of the card. It stuck to me. There we go. And then our sentiment, I'm going to use multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm using this because we're going to use that give that it has a few seconds to be able to kind of tuck that under our flower and give us a few seconds to be able to place it exactly where we want. So with the liquid glue, you can have a few seconds to kind of move your paper right where you need it. All right, the final touch, well, we have two final touches for this project. The first one is Wink of Stella. I love Wink of Stella glitter brush. If you're not too familiar with what this is a glitter brush. I have no loose glitter in my craft room. My husband is active duty military, and that would be very bad for him to get glitter on his uniform. So Wink of Stella glitter brush is perfect for creating a little bit of shimmer and shine right where you want it. Hopefully the light, there you go, the light catches it. I just added a little bit there in the middle. Now Wink of Stella is a buildable glitter brush, so if you don't like the amount of glitter you put on the first time, you can always go back and add more and more to make it very, very glitter, however you like it. The last touch, you may have noticed these fun little embellishments right here. Those probably don't look familiar because these are brand new in our upcoming July through December mini catalog. These are the Fine Sparkle Adhesive Backed Gems. They come in Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Pacific Point. I looked that up last night when I was making sure I had all the colors correct. So Calypso Coral, we're going to use one of the larger size, and then one of our smaller adhesive backed gems, and that is our second project featuring the Cottage Rose stamp set and the Abigail Rose suite. So we have all of the suite items on this card, from the ribbon, the designer series paper, the dies, and the stamps. So I hope you guys really, really like this project. It's fun. Like I said, outside of my comfort zone, I normally don't create vintage projects, but I was on a whim and I was like, you know what, let's do it. So here's our two projects that we worked on today. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. I have to say the Calypso Coral one is definitely my favorite. I love the vintage look to it, and then the torn paper at the top really is fun. It's different, and it kind of gives it some height and texture along with it. So let me know which one is your favorite here today. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. I'm excited next week to kick off our celebration series. Now, each week I will work through our celebration catalog, starting at the beginning all the way to the end and showing you projects created with all of the fun celebration items that you can earn for free starting July 1st. As a reminder, if you do not have a demonstrator and you have currently not placed an order with me or attended an event in the last 6 months and you would like a copy of the new July through December mini catalog, in just a few minutes when I'm done here tonight, I'll be posting a link in the description of this video and you can request your own free catalog from myself. In that packet will be a class schedule for my classes through, I think, November or December. So I hope you guys are excited about all the upcoming classes as well. I hope you guys have a